10 Forgotten Pop One-Hit Wonders from the 1980s you need to hear. And not just because they were catchy, because these are the songs that were everywhere for a moment, and then just as quickly, they disappeared.
Back at ground control, there is a problem.
You remember the chorus, you remember the feeling, but you probably never knew what actually happened after the spotlight moved on. Because in the 80s, one hit could make you feel unstoppable. And the very next year, the industry was already looking for someone new. Let's get into it. Number 10 Tainted Love, Soft Cell.
Get away from the pain you drive into.
You hear that opening synth and it doesn't ease you in. It pulls you straight into a mood, cold, minimal, almost empty in a way that makes everything feel louder. And you probably heard this everywhere without even realizing how different it actually was.
Once I ran to
Tainted Love hit number 1 in the UK in 1981 and crossed into the top 10 in the US, but here's what the charts didn't tell you. This wasn't built like most pop songs at the time. No big band sound, no layered instrumentation trying to impress you, just space and tension. And here's the part that flips it. It wasn't even their song originally. It came from a 1960s soul track, something warm, emotional, almost completely opposite in tone. What Soft Cell did was strip all that warmth away and replace it with distance. And if you've ever heard two versions of the same story told in completely different ways, you know how powerful that can be. Here's where it gets complicated. When your biggest moment is a reinvention that feels this complete, what do you do next? You don't just have to follow a hit. You have to follow a transformation. If you remember hearing this late at night, maybe through headphones, maybe through a quiet room where it just sat with you, you know the feeling. It wasn't just catchy, it felt personal in a strange, detached way. And sometimes, once you create that kind of atmosphere, you don't get to recreate it again. Number 9 867 5309 Jenny, Tommy Tutone. You don't need the title, you don't even need the artist, you just need the number. And the crazy part is, you probably still know it without thinking. Released in 1981, this song climbed all the way to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. For a moment, it wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. But here's what nobody really talks about. That number became real. People across the country actually started dialing it, over and over, different area codes, different cities, just to see if Jenny would answer. Think about that for a second. A pop song didn't just stay on the radio, it jumped into real life. And that's where things start to shift. Because when your song becomes bigger than your identity, when people remember the hook more than they remember you, it creates a strange kind of success. You're everywhere, but you're not really known. If you remember hearing this blasting from speakers, maybe in a car, maybe at a party, maybe just stuck in your head for days, you know how addictive it was. But here's the emotional truth. Some songs become moments, others become ideas. And once your song becomes an idea, it's hard for anything else you do to compete with it. Hey, if you've made it this far, then you feel it too. These songs, they're not just music, they're memories, moments, pieces of us, and every week, we bring more of that back. The sounds you forgot you needed, the stories you didn't know you missed. But here's the thing, you only find them if you're here. So don't let the next one pass you by. Subscribe, and stay with us on this journey, because the next song, it might be the one that takes you all the way back. Let's continue. Number 8 Video killed the radio star, the Buggles.
Credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine.
This one feels like history the second it starts, not just because of the sound, but because of what it represents. You hear that bright, slightly futuristic intro, and it already feels like it's pointing forward, like it knows something is about to change. And it did. Video Killed the Radio Star became the first music video ever played on MTV in 1981. Think about that for a second. Not just a hit song, a starting point, a line in the sand where music stopped being just something you listened to and became something you watched. And if you were there when that shift happened, when music videos started taking over TV, when image suddenly mattered just as much as sound, you already know how big that moment felt. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. The Buggles predicted the future and didn't get to fully live in it. That's the irony. The song itself is about change, about one era replacing another, about something new pushing out something familiar, and then that exact thing happened to them. You know that feeling when you help create something, but by the time it really takes off, you're no longer at the center of it? That's a different kind of success, because the impact is undeniable, but the recognition doesn't stay with you the same way. Still, the song never lost its place. It's not just remembered, it's referenced, replayed, revisited anytime people talk about the evolution of pop, and that's why it sticks, not because it was just a hit, but because it marked the beginning of something bigger than itself. Number 7, Tarzan Boy, Baltimora. This one doesn't wait, it jumps right in and lifts the whole mood instantly. That jungle call hits, and suddenly everything feels lighter, simpler, like you've stepped into a moment that doesn't take itself too seriously, and maybe that's exactly why it worked. Tarzan Boy dropped in 1985 and climbed into the top 20 in the US, but honestly, it felt even bigger than the numbers, because this wasn't just a chart song, this was a feeling. You heard it in the summer, in open spaces, on radios that weren't trying to sound deep or serious, just pure energy. But here's where the story shifts. Baltimora wasn't built like a traditional band, the image you saw and the creative force behind the music weren't fully aligned, and that matters more than people think. Because in pop, connection isn't just about the sound, it's about believing in the person behind it. And when that connection isn't clear, it becomes harder to build something that lasts. Still, the song itself never lost its impact. You know that feeling when a track instantly takes you back to a specific kind of happiness, not a specific memory, just a type of moment? That's what this is. It doesn't need a story, it is the moment, and sometimes, that's enough. Number 6, Major Tom, Coming Home, Peter Schilling.
Standing there alone, the ship is waiting, all systems are go.
This one pulls you in slowly, it doesn't rush, it builds. You hear the synth, the space, that quiet tension underneath everything, and before you know it, you're already inside the story.
Requested data, what will it affect? When all is
Released in 1983, it reached the top 20 in the US, but what made it stand out wasn't just the sound, it was the connection. Because this wasn't a brand new idea, it was a continuation of something people already knew. The story of Major Tom from David Bowie's Space Oddity, same character, different outcome, and for a moment, that worked perfectly. Because it gave listeners something familiar while still offering something new. But here's where it gets complicated. When your biggest moment is tied to something iconic, it creates a shadow, and that shadow doesn't just disappear. Every song after that feels like it has to answer a question. Are you your own voice, or part of someone else's story?
go to rockets full, not responding, hello Major Tom.
And if you've ever tried to build something under that kind of comparison, you already know how heavy that feels. Still, the song itself holds up. It has that late-night energy, that drifting, almost detached feeling, like you're floating between two places and not fully grounded in either. You know that feeling when a song doesn't just play, it pulls you somewhere?
Has the evidence, no need to abort.
That's what this does, and maybe that's why it stayed, even when everything else moved on. Number 5, I Melt With You, Modern English.
Making love to you.
This one doesn't hit you all at once, it builds slowly, almost like it's trying to meet you where you already are, and before you realize it, you're already inside it.
Of imaginary grace.
I Melt With You came out in 1982, but it didn't explode immediately, it didn't dominate the charts overnight, it grew, through repetition, through radio, through moments where people heard it and felt something they couldn't quite explain.
I've seen some changes, but it's
And you probably know that feeling, when a song doesn't just sound good, it feels like something you've lived before.
moving forwards, using all my breath.
But here's the shift, Modern English didn't just make a hit, they made a song that attached itself to people's lives, movies, memories, relationships, moments that don't even have names anymore. And once a song becomes that, it changes everything, because now you're not competing with other songs, you're competing with people's memories, and nothing wins that. You know that feeling when a song instantly takes you somewhere, even if you don't know exactly where? That's this, it doesn't demand attention, it stays with you. Number 4, Voices Carry, Till Tuesday. This one feels controlled from the start, like something is being held back, and if you've ever listened closely, you know exactly when it breaks. Voices Carry hit the top 10 in 1985, and for a moment, it felt like everything was lining up for Till Tuesday, but behind the scenes, things weren't that simple. The meaning of the song was changed to make it more accessible, more marketable, and that kind of shift doesn't come without tension, because now you've got a hit, but not the exact story you started with. And if you've ever had to reshape something real, your voice, your truth, just to make it fit what people expect, you already understand that feeling. The video made it unforgettable, that final moment where everything that's been held in finally comes out. You know that feeling when something builds quietly for too long and then finally breaks? That's what people connected to. But sometimes your biggest moment comes from something you had to adjust, and even if it works, that original version stays with you. Number 3, She Blinded Me with Science, Thomas Dolby. This one hits instantly, not smooth, not polished, just different. You hear it and it feels like it doesn't belong anywhere else, and that's exactly why it worked. Released in 1983, it broke into the top 10 and stood out immediately. But here's the part most people didn't fully realize, Thomas Dolby wasn't just a quirky pop artist, he was a serious musician, a producer, someone deeply respected behind the scenes. But the audience locked onto one thing, the fun, the weirdness, the science moment, and that became the identity. You know how that goes, one moment defines everything, even if it's not the full story. And if you've ever been seen for one version of yourself while knowing there's more underneath, you understand how that feels. Still, the song did something important, it proved pop didn't have to sound the same, it could be strange, it could be smart, it could take risks, and for a moment, that was enough. Number 2, Take On Me, Aha. You already know how this starts, that synth hits, and everything else fades, it's instant. But what people forget is how long it took to get there. Take On Me didn't hit right away, different versions came out, different attempts, nothing stuck, until it finally did, and then everything changed. The video didn't just promote the song, it turned it into something else entirely. You weren't just listening anymore, you were watching a story unfold, and once that clicked, it exploded. But here's the pressure. How do you follow something that feels perfect? Because every song after that gets compared to that moment, and that's not something you can easily recreate. Number 1, Come On Eileen, Dexys Midnight Runners. This one feels unpredictable from the start, like it shouldn't work, but somehow it does. Released in 1982, it hit number 1 in both the US and the UK and became one of those songs that takes over instantly. You don't just hear it, you react to it. But here's the deeper truth, this kind of uniqueness can't be repeated, because it isn't formula, it's a moment, and moments don't come back the same way. Dexys Midnight Runners didn't fade because they lacked talent, they faded because they created something so specific it couldn't be recreated, and if you've ever had something in your life peak like that, you already understand.